Hey. Welcome. I'm your humble host, Fizzhead Music, and this right here, this is Urban Politics, where politics lives. I want to thank you all for liking and subscribing. Liking and subscribing as you do. Please, as soon as you have a moment after this video, take your little cell phone over to YouTube, like and subscribe, Fizzhead Music, Urban Politics, where politics lives. But without further ado, I want to jump right into it like a car and drive because there's all types of tasty and delicious politics to sink our teeth into. Number one, while I'm sitting here licking my chops, we'll talk about Wendy's. And I like Wendy's, you know what I'm saying? Really, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty mad when they got rid of the strawberry frosty. That was delicious right there. And I went ahead and I always get that little keychain that you can get from Wendy's to where you can get free junior frosties. My son loves a frosty all the time. Anytime he sees a Wendy's, he feel like he need a frosty. So why not get the keychain? Because that's a cool little junior frosty, for yourself if you was eating at some Wendy's and wanted to go to a Wendy's and get that for free. But it's also something that you can get for the kids or whatever, get for your kids. So I always get that keychain. So I got the keychain, but then I get the keychain and they stopped serving the strawberry frosty. You know what I'm saying? They went to this peppermint frosty now that they got. That's disgusting. I don't like peppermint. So I'm mad about that. So, but it's cool that, at least I can still get a chocolate frosty or a vanilla frosty. So I usually opt for the vanilla these days. Anyway, that's just a sidebar. Let me go ahead and get into why this is even news. Wendy's customer hospitalized after ordering a cheeseburger. I did not like reading this story, ladies and gentlemen. Jenna Voigt had long-term health issues and staggering medical bills as a result of a meal which contained a performed toxin. Jenna Voigt ordered a medium double cheeseburger combo from St. Rose, Louisiana on July 27th. The plaintiff says the burger was contaminated due to poor hand washing procedures, and the food was not properly washed, inspected, or insured to be safe. She spent 2 months in the hospital. Oh, my Lord. August 28th to September 28th, that's when she was transferred to a second hospital. So she was in the hospital, a month before August 28th. And then August 28th is when she got sent to another hospital. Her husband, Michael, obviously Michael Voigt, had to go through this as well with her. So he's a part of the lawsuit that she has against Wendy's because they were saying that, of course, their marriage was messed up. He had to go through it with her. Like Drake said, one of us goes in and we all go through it, my Lord. So he went through all this with his woman, of course. You know what I'm saying? She didn't just went and had a burger and now she having health complications and all this other nasty stuff going on just because of a burger. She had a cheeseburger, not even a double cheeseburger. It was a double cheeseburger. And now she in and out the hospital for 2 months and got gastrointestinal problems. That's terrible, right? So the couple is seeking. Now this right here is what blew me away. This is the reason I'm even talking about this little piece of news right here. Because it blew me away the amount of money that they're asking for. And when I say the amount, I hope it blows you away too, because just think about all the stuff that this one went through, right? They said the couple is seeking more than $75,000 in damages. $75,000 in damages? That ain't nothing. What is that? That ain't nothing. $75,000 in damages? Think about this. Even if they were awarded that $75,000, which is nothing to the Wendy's Corporation, I promise you that. $75,000, the CEO of Wendy's, $75,000, he spent that on dinner with the family. And I laugh and keep from crying because really it's sad how little people value themselves or how little people think that their health or their time or their life is worth. Because I'm like, 75, that's an insult. That's an insult. And to think that that's all they're seeking. So what that tells me is that some lawyer got in their ear and probably said, hey, look, this is a slam dunk case. We got proof of you being in and out the hospital and all that and how you was sick behind this food that you ate. We'll just ask for a nice, safe number, $75,000. I'll get paid. You'll get paid. We'll win the case and we'll be done with it. And Wendy's is like, that's a drop in the bucket to them. Like I said, the CEO of Wendy's, $75,000, he spent more than that on a family vacation last summer. That ain't nothing. $75,000, he spent more on lunches for the year. I'm telling you, there is no money at all, and it's sad that these people value their health so low. Because I'm like, that's ridiculous. Even if, and then look, it said is seeking more than $75,000 in damages. So let's say for the sake of argument, they got $150,000, which is what double that in damages. Let's say they got that. By the time you pay your lawyer and everything else, they would come home with $90,000. What is, I mean, I'm right, $90,000. What is $90,000? $90,000 you like to have died because you went and got a double cheeseburger one day. But you willing to take $90,000 from a mega corporation that has millions of dollars? All you want is $90,000 for your life and your health? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know. And that's why I say my heart goes out to this couple that had to go through this. My heart goes out to this Jenna Voigt who had to go through this. And I would say, once again, let me go ahead and quote Drake. Know yourself, know your worth. Come on now. Know yourself, know your worth, Playgirl. That's all I'm saying. Because I wish they would come at me like that. If all this had happened to me and they came at me talking about $90,000, I'd be so done with that. That's ridiculous. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about DeSantis speaking at the Jewish Museum. Now, if you know anything about DeSantis, like I know about DeSantis, that's kind of an oxymoron. Why is the likes of Ron DeSantis speaking at the Jewish Museum? Anyway, he goes by a lot of other names too, right? Mr. DeSantis, you can also call him Mr. Ban Bucks, Mr. Whitewash History, because it makes his fragile white base squirm in their own filthy guilt. This guy is going to address tensions in Israel, right? That's what I'm saying. This is laughable. It's laughable. Mr. Attack Drag Queens and Kids in Masks. Mr. Threatened teachers with rainbow flags in their classrooms with prosecution while making Florida a safe place for Nazis and white supremacists. This is the guy. This is the dude. They're going to have speaking at the Jewish Museum. Okay, that is what it is. Now, Jewish people have called it a shanda, which they say is truly disgraceful. I guess in their language, that a shanda is something that's truly disgraceful. Here's a quote that was on Twitter, and I think this summed it up really, really perfectly. Said, Proud Boys pinup who got name-checked in the far-right neo-fascist group's January 6th manifesto is giving the keynote speech on what? How to befriend a Nazi? Exactly. So it's like, come on, man. That is laughable that they would have Ron DeSantis speaking at such an event or such a place. Now, I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of different reasons for this, though, right? And it's all political. First of all, we know that Ron DeSantis is running in 2024. You cannot be the Republican nominee. You're not going to win the Republican nomination without an endorsement from Israel. So he's got to go there, and he has to get the endorsement of Israel. With that said, he's still here in America. He's still running, you know what I'm saying, as a Republican. So he still has to cozy up to the far right, which has cozied up to neo-Nazis. So he has to cozy up to neo-Nazis and white supremacists. Has to do that. So that's something that, you know what I'm saying, that's a little balancing act that those guys do. You know what I'm saying? They want to run over here to Israel and say, oh, we're all in for Israel. And we all, you know what I'm saying, we support Israel and all that. And we're all about that. But on the other hand here, they actually support people who are anti-Semitic and support people who would do harm, you know what I'm saying, to people who are of Jewish descent because, you know what I'm saying, they're racist. So, wow. We'll see how he threads that needle, right? But I mean, there it is right there. Another reason that's probably going down is, like I said, he needs that money, he needs that support, he needs that money, he needs that money, he needs that money. There's a whole lot of money coming out of Israel. You know what I'm saying? So he needs some of that. If he calls himself trying to make a run for president, it's going to cost a lot of money. He's going to need that money. He's going to need that support. He's going to need that support. He's going to need that money. He's going to need that money, ladies and gentlemen. So he run into Israel doing speeches saying like, hey, I know what I say in Florida and all the stuff I've done in Florida against minorities and actually, hurting people who are Jewish descent, people like that. But don't worry about all that. I'm here talking about how I support you guys and all that good stuff because I need the support, the money, the support, the money, the support, money, support. I need your support. That's called politics. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about an interesting subject. I heard a lot about it back in the day, and now it has came up again. Reparations. I love talking about it because I'd love to see it happen across the board. I'd love every state in the union, every state in America to get on what it seems like California is getting on. You know what I'm saying? Check out what they're doing. So, the California Reparations Task Force considering giving $360,000 per person to 1.8 million black Californians who had an ancestor enslaved in the U.S. Yeah, my jaw dropped when I say that. My jaw dropped. And then it said, look, total cost of the program is $640 billion. Ooh-wee! That's a heck of a price tag, right? But that's something fresh. That's something that needs to happen. That's the way that this country starts to mend and starts to heal from that grave affliction called slavery, right? So, Evanston, Illinois, they gave reparations using funds from recreational marijuana. That's smart. That's it. I never thought about how that's a good place where money could come from to give people reparations, right? Ramona Burton used her, this is a lady who got reparations. I think they said there was like about 14 people or 14 families that got reparations in Evanston, Illinois, and she was a member of one of the families, and they used their reparations to get windows, and a roof and a chimney for their home. So there you go. See, that's the thing too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people get reparations. Of course, they're going to use it to better their lives. Bettering their lives is going to mean probably getting a new house or bettering the home they live in. Probably going to mean getting a new car or bettering the car that they're driving. Something that betters, really them and even their community. You know what I'm saying? So that's another good reason to give out reparations. And another good reason to give reparations is that it's owed and due black folk. Anyway, moving on. My last point before I get into my IPA of the week, and it's a good one. It's a delicious little beer we're going to talk about. But before we talk about it, I want to talk about how, well, first of all, there was talks of Trump getting arrested. And I think I talked about it last show or whatever. And I was like, they say this Tuesday, he's supposed to be getting arrested. I'm waiting with bated breath like everybody else. I am not waiting. Maybe I said I wasn't waiting with it because I'm not waiting with bated breath. I've been set up so many times like you've been set up so many times. I'm like, stop playing with my emotions. I don't want to hear about it no more. I'm in a group chat with a lot of my friends. Some of them watch the show, my boys, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know who you are. And, somebody put that in there talking about, Trump's been indicted. He's been indicted in New York. And I had seen that post other places. And other people came at me about that. And I said the same thing to them that I had said to other people too. I don't give it's a family show, so let me keep it family. But let me tell you, I use some expletives, but basically, I don't care nothing about no indictment. I don't care nothing about no indictment. Go and arrest this dude. You go pick this raggedy guy up like you would anybody else if they were of color, if they didn't have the complexion for the protection. Anybody else, you would have been arrested them in front of their wife and their kids and made them do a perp walk for a quarter of the crap that this guy has done. So I don't want to hear about an indictment. None of that is kicking my dander up no more. Right about now, I need to see an arrest. I'm sick of the madness. Now they claim it's coming. They claim it's coming Tuesday. This idiot and buffoon, he been on his little True Social or whatever else talking about how it's coming like he excited to be indicted. Like the 1975 said, he's excited to be indicted. These guys are the stupidest criminals I've ever seen in my life. But here's a guy, Trump, he's excited to be indicted. You know what I'm saying? Talking about, they'll come to arrest. And I really don't know sometimes what's the end game for this dude. What does he think is going to happen? I really think that Trump is so far gone that he thinks he's going to get arrested Tuesday. They'll do it low-key. Once his supporters find out that he's actually in jail, they'll take to the streets and they'll just start wilding out and tearing stuff up. And it'll be so bad that they'll have to release him from prison. That is not how this thing works at all. That is not how this thing works. First of all, we already saw that. What's the one rally he had or whatever where he called people to come out where they talked about indicting him and only 20 people were there and, you know, they had signs or whatever and stuff. So there's that. But let's just say for the sake of argument that a militia did show up and wanted to turn out in the name of Lord King Trump. Do you know how quickly they be putting that? And that's sad. I don't say that that's not even funny. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be flippant or be even cute talking about that in a funny way. That would really be a lot of bloodshed that nobody, including myself, would even want to see. Because these would be a lot of ignorant people whose hearts are in the right place, but who came up against the federal government, and you just don't do that. You already know what it is. Get out of here. So I don't know why he thinks that would happen. I don't know why he'd want that to. I know why he'd want that to happen. He wants to see the breakdown of, you know, American institutions and all that. TI is what a TI is, but he can go ahead and hang that up. So yeah, so there's that. He's supposed to be getting arrested, right? But check this out. Most Americans say investigations into Trump are fair. I agree with most Americans, right? I'm sure you do too. Look, 6 in 10 Americans don't want him to be president again. Trump faces 3 other criminal investigations, 2 federal cases involving classified documents, and 1 from Georgia about trying to overturn the 2020 election results, right? So he got all that going on, but he's still going to run for president, right? 56% to 41% say the investigations are fair and not a witch hunt. So there it is, man. 56% of Americans say these investigations are fair. He's getting his just desserts. He needs to go ahead, shut up, and eat up, right? Huge partisan divide. 9 in 10 Democrats say that they're fair. 8 in 10 Republicans call it a witch hunt. Independents are split 51% to 47%. That's interesting too, isn't it? But think about that. Even with independents, still a majority, 51% say that these are just, these are fair. This guy has a laundry list of offenses. The fact that 1 or 2 is finally catching up to him is just like Jesus. You know what I'm saying? At least there is some kind of rule of law in this country still. You know what I'm saying? At least something will catch up to everybody at some point. My God. You know, because it was just ridiculous. After a while, it just really was looking silly. You know, how many crimes is this guy going to commit before somebody goes and gets him and arrests him, right? How many times he going to thumb his nose at the rule of law and the government before somebody holds him accountable? Finally, it may happen. So there's that. So that even shows why even independents, people who are split in the middle politically, people who vote the person and not the party. They don't tote the party line, these people. No, they vote the person, right? They're looking at the person's what? Character. So these people are looking at Trump's character, and 51% of them say, throw the book at that guy. He's guilty. Give him the business. Throw the book at that guy. He's guilty. And that, I think that says a whole lot. Like I said, that's 51% of independents. These people aren't even on the right or the left, right? People who say it's fair, check this out. Gen Zers, of course, millennials, people who live in big cities, college-educated white women. Those are the group of people who say this whole thing is fair, it's just. Once again, Trump is getting what he deserves. Of course, these are people who definitely are not friends of Trump. So we're not surprised that, you know, the young people, Gen Zers, millennials, were not surprised that my big city folks, that'd be myself, college-educated white women, have a conversation with one. You'll see ain't none of them fans of Trump. So that did not surprise me at all to hear that, right? 3/4 say Trump has either done something illegal, 46%, or unethical, 29%. Only a quarter, 23%, think he's done nothing wrong. So you've heard those numbers, ladies and gentlemen. I say it all the time on this show. I'm going to say it again. Men lie. Women lie. But the numbers, they don't lie. And you see from these numbers right here, it does not look good for Trump. This also shows why he's really been coming at DeSantis so tough too. Trump knows these numbers better than you or I right now. You know what I'm saying? So he already knows that it's an uphill battle for him, even though he's got a whole lot of love on the right. He might have the right locked down. You know what I'm saying? Even tougher than DeSantis. There's a whole lot of these other people and these other votes that he's going to need to push him over the top to become president that it looks like it's probably just impossible for him to get. So he's at least got to get rid of his competition on the right, which is DeSantis at this point. So they said those most likely to think Trump did something illegal are white college graduates, especially white college-educated women, women who live in small cities and suburbs, and people who live in the Northeast. So there it is. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that's saying. That a lot of your college-educated white women and stuff like that, they're the ones who are going to vote for somebody else. They're not going to vote for Trump. And it's interesting how it looks like a lot of these numbers, they didn't even talk about people of color, because I guess they was like, hey, you already know where that's going. But that TI is what a TI is. We'll see how this election turns out, but right here it's looking like it's not going to be an easy battle for Trump. You know what I'm saying? Him and DeSantis, they already are just going at it. They're already going at it real tough, and it's just going to get worse and worse, because who is going to end up getting that Republican nomination, right? I guess right now it's between Trump, DeSantis, and Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley, I think, has 1%. 1% of her party's left. I guess that's better than no percent, right? Let me talk about my IPA of the week, which is this Vibacious. Look at that big old can. Hold it, can you see it right? Do I got it right? So you can read it right there. Vibacious. Obviously ain't nothing in this. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I downed this. This was delicious. This is a 9.0% alcohol by volume. It said good vibes and delicious intertwined in every sip of this bold, smooth drinking double IPA. That's what it is to a double IPA. It goes hard. It was real strong, real good, real delicious, vibacious. This right here is a vibrant thing. It's a vibrant thing, a vibrant. You know what I'm saying? To quote, you know what I'm saying, Q-Tip, but this is vibacious. This is really good. A double IPA from Great Lakes. Great Lakes is what? Right here out of Cleveland. I love Great Lakes. They have some great beers, and this was delicious, ladies and gentlemen. I can't wait to go get another one. As you see, I got it in the tall can. Like I said, 9.0% alcohol, so when you drink that, you're going to feel it, and it will set your night off right. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at my time. That is my time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your humble host, Fizz Ed Music. This right here is Urban Politics. I want to thank you all for liking and subscribing as you do. And please, as soon as you have a chance, take your little cell phone over to YouTube. Like and subscribe. Fizz Ed Music, Urban Politics. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you around like a donut.